get started. Hello guys, Max here. Today, I don't know why my voice sounds like this. Today, I will talk to you about what you're gonna do when you're running out of ideas. So, if you have something that, if you're the person that you have a run out of ideas on what you're making or doing a YouTube channel, but others you're gonna have to hold. Well, if you are the person, well, come to me. So, if you really want to have to ask that, if you really want to have to do something that you really want to expect, even if you're running out of ideas and you have nothing else to do. So, here are your steps of what you do when you're running out of ideas. If you're getting to know that you're running out of ideas on what you're doing, if sometimes if you're stuck, if you have nothing else to do when you have everything that you need and you got nothing else on what you're supposed to be doing, but you got running out of ideas on what you can do with your the next project are you working on, or your assignment you're working on your own free time, or the spare time. So here's what happens. So number one is to relax and reduce your stress. So you're trying to meditate like this, or even try yoga, or get some exercise that it's stretching. Do whatever sometimes that you can reduce your stress of something that you making have a lot of bit of sense that even blocked out of your brain because you don't have any ideas. Number two is walking away. So just had to walk away and take some time off from here, away from the computer, and then just walk and then think about what you're supposed to be doing, so that the new experiences and new people start to rejuvenate your spirit and revive your creative flow. So that will happen when you're thinking about what's your new ideas, what you're trying to think about, and what's the best point that you really want to know. Okay, number three will be feed your brain. It's a good way to read your own books, listen to great music, go outside and garden, or play, or just sit and listen to the bird traffic, hear the birds or hear the traffic, or do something a little bit crazy, but you want to have to get boundaries there, or give your brain a new kind of stimulation on what you're going to be expecting, so that you can provide your brain with the richest input that you can find on your. That's how giving you the examples of need your brain to put up some what you can do, what you're gonna find. Next up, look at your industry. Checking it out, the news. Check out on the trends, the current trends, or what's happening about today. What are they talking about? What are the topics they have for today? What are the issues that could affect from any other, one of the the world news. I'm just giving the example. Next up will be look at the competition. So you have to take some time to review what's going to be competition. What could they what they are trying something new, trying something different, or giving us a new models and they're giving them the new behaviors, new things that could go against to someone. They make it better. You know what this one. You know what I say. Next up will be look outside industry. So, if your ideas can hit, maybe if everything is all so well, you can have your idea, you get a little popped up, and you're gonna know something what you're gonna do when I was doing it. So, you'll never know what you're gonna have a great idea. And never taking any chances on forgetting something fantastic that you want to have to remember. What is the best way to keep, what are the ways of ideas? I'm going to tell you about the ways to have the best ideas. Okay, there are 6 surprising ways to finding the right ideas. So number 1 is explain common things. So you're gonna ask someone to how the things works, how does everything works, how does it make you do, or what are the, for example, what are your technology, what are the histories of technology, basically. Okay, number 2, mind your emotions. So, if there's something that you really want to have to find a question on answering the question that you don't want to answer, you have to interviewing the people with the reactions that you want to ask. If you really want to have to wondering on what is the doubt or what are your feelings with the reactions that they have to look at, but the way they want to have to make you, like, what are your feelings about this or that. Number 3, follow the alternative path. So you have to take the alternate route to a different type of what you have. Looking at the different paths that you could take. If you don't want to have, if you do this, your alternative with doing that. For example, if you're riding the elevator, just take the steps, okay? It will be easy for you to have more running upstairs and running downstairs. That's a good exercise for you. Number 4, cultivate weirdos. So, if you're gonna have to, like, talk with the strangers or even weird people, or for example, trying to introduce yourself to someone that you don't even know next to a passenger that you don't even know on the airplane, or someone say that I am famous. Say that I am famous. Say that you're famous, and someone's gonna have to sign you an autograph. It's all everything. Lower your standards. Number 5. If there is any piece of paper that they gave you one, for example, read it in junk mail, that's definitely really hate the junk mail, but you could see there is more. Another example is watching the TV shows that they suck, and ask someone they were appealed to everyone watching this one, or buying a TV gadget, offering you and testing it and trying to get your money back to, if this thing sucks, if your phone sucks, you gotta take your money back. Number 6, make yourself into something else. So it's a role play of the last people with different point of views of yourself and the other readers. So maybe writing out your ideas is like what you're gonna ask for, and thinking about what you're gonna have to do when you're writing a lot of things. It's just me. Okay, here are the ways to keep your ideas in straight. Okay, here are your ways to keep your ideas a little bit organized, and you're gonna have to do what's coming up. The first way to keep your ideas organized is to write a pen or a piece of paper or any kind of paper that you really want to have here. So, for example, I wrote out, let me see the camera. So, for example, I wrote out a lot of ideas right here. These ideas right here, my ideas right here of writing the tracks and writing out the songs that I put it there from any other album that I did. And look, I had to keep this one. I had to keep this journal for, writing the idea on what's gonna be coming up, or even the post-its. Might help you though. That's the another way of keeping your ideas organized. Next up is email to yourself. You could email to your own, using I use a Google. I use my Gmail, and in case if I only do something, if I have to keep what are my ideas and keeping it to myself and setting it only myself, and I'll save that one as a draft, and I could click on it. Google Drive, that's another way to keep your things organized when you're doing something. I don't use Google Drive, or I don't use Google Sheets either, because my ideas is only a little. It's just a bit. Next up is if you have your iPhone or any Apple devices, there is an app of Apple Reminders app. You can keep your ideas on your iPhone, your iPad, only your Apple devices. That's where you can keep. There is another way that you keep your ideas organized. It's called IFTTT. If you don't know what IFTTT stands for, it stands for if this, then that, to help you. Then ideas, another way that I love making ideas to myself. It's just one had to keep it in secret. So if you have an ideas of what you really wanted to add, it's just keep it all the stuff that you don't want to ask me to do. Oh, what ideas are you supposed to be doing? So in the conclusion, I think that if you're running out of ideas, just try to calm down, try to think about walking outside and think about what you're gonna do. What you're gonna be your ideas of what's gonna be on the project. And writing down your ideas out on your paper, on your phones, on any devices such as Apple devices, and keeping it organized yourself online or on anywhere that you really want to choose. And the best way you have to keep it is to just be staying down of doing something a little bit ideas out. And I just have messed up on my head now because it's just me. It's just getting a little bit of reason of to ask me about the ideas, but I may have a lot of ideas about what's gonna be my new videos on YouTube. It could be Tell 'em All. It could be the movie that I watch, the TV that I watch, the play that I watch, the play that I see. Making blogs. If I could make blogs like this, is it okay that I can make a blog? or having ideas out, or having a challenge. I got lots of ideas, but I had to think one. I think a lot of one. There's too much. There's a lot of ideas, but I had to keep this one. I had to keep this thing up before I started doing it and working on whatever this crazy thing was. Okay, guys. See you guys next time. So long.